Hi dear students. So today we shall talk about an important question, which is conversion of temperature units. That is conversion of degree Celsius to Kelvin and Kelvin to degree Celsius. How do we do this? Just remember the magical number, that is 273. Children, here we need to keep one thing in mind, that is degree Celsius is a bigger unit and Kelvin is the smaller unit. Whenever you want to convert a smaller unit into a bigger unit, if you want to convert smaller unit into a bigger unit, make sure you remove 273 because this is a magical number. To convert the smaller unit into the bigger unit, if you want to convert Kelvin to degree Celsius, you need to remove 273. And if you want to do the vice versa, that is, if you want to make the bigger unit turn to smaller, that is degree Celsius to Kelvin, you need to add 273. Let's take an example, a very simple example. Now I want the degree Celsius to be converted to Kelvin. This is my first problem, right? So what will I do? Think that the degree Celsius, it's what is given as, here it is 40 degrees Celsius that I have to convert it to Kelvin. So according to the rule, when I want to convert degree Celsius to Kelvin, I need to add 273. So I'll take the same number which is given here as 40 plus 273. That will be equal to 313 Kelvin. So 40 degrees Celsius is equal to 313 Kelvin. Coming to the next problem, that is how to convert the same number. Let us take 313 Kelvin and I want this to be converted to degree Celsius. Now what I'll do, as I know that I'm converting Kelvin into degree Celsius, so when I want to convert Kelvin into degree Celsius, I need to remove 273. So what I do, I will write it as 313 Kelvin. So what I have to do, take the number 313 minus 273 from there. As a result, what you will get? You will get 40 degrees Celsius. That means 313 Kelvin will be equal to 40 degrees Celsius. Now let us get into the last part of the chapter, that is matter in our surroundings. This is a very important concept even from the examination point of view, and this is very important for us to understand. Being science students, all these concepts should be there in the mind, which is like a basic for you to help you out in your higher studies in science. Now, in today's video, we will be covering the concept of evaporation. We will go deep into the concept of evaporation and explore its different phenomena or the phenomena related to this. Evaporation is how we covered in the last video, and I told you that evaporation is the process of conversion of liquid into a vapor before the boiling point of the liquid is reached. That is evaporation. Now this evaporation, why are we so much interested into this? Because this evaporation, it brings something called as cooling effect. I'll give you simple examples. We'll have those clay pots, right, in which we store the water, and during summer we see that whenever the water is stored in those matkas, right, the water will be really like very cool. It will give you the effect of refrigerated water or freezed water, right? Why is that happening? Basically, if you see that matkas are made up of clay, well, no matter how beautifully or how carefully you mold the clay, there will be some minute pores which will be there between the clay particles. Through these minute pores, the water will try coming out and evaporation happens. Okay? The liquid inside the matka gets converted to vapor before the boiling point is reached. That's the reason why it is called evaporation. Remember, evaporation to happen, we have to have energy. Now the energy should be given in the form of heat, so that heat from the water will be taken. Okay, So when the heat from the water is taken out for the process of evaporation and the water evaporates through the pores, just because the heat energy from the water is removed, the temperature drops down, and as a result, you get to see that matka water becomes cool. One. Second one. Evenings of the hot summer days are really hot. You might have seen village people or our ancestors, they have a common habit. They go to the terrace, they sprinkle water on the roof. They sprinkle water on the floor of the terrace. That means we are actually trying to evaporate the water from the terrace. Now, during the evaporation, the energy which is required will be taken by the ceiling of our rooms, right? So, whenever the ceiling gives away the heat, its temperature drops down and we start feeling a little calmer. That is the whole idea behind sprinkling water on the terrace floor during the summer evenings. This is the second thing. Third thing is, you might have seen certain liquids when you put it in your palm, you feel very cool. For example, you put nail polish remover, acetone, or else you put ice cube only, you get that cooling effect. Why? The moment you put acetone, nail polish remover, it is a liquid. You get to see that after a few minutes you will not be able to see the acetone over there because acetone gets evaporated. And if you keep an ice cube, it will get melted. Now the melting process, if it has to happen or the evaporation has to happen, it has to get the energy. That energy will be taken from your palm. So the skin which is giving the energy for the evaporation or the melting to happen, that skin temperature drops down and as a result you feel more cooler. This is the idea behind. This is the third point. Fourth point. Coming to wearing the cotton cloths during the summer. We all prefer cotton cloths during summer because we believe like the cotton will keep our bodies calm and cool. How? Cotton is the cloth material which has pores in between. Now basically during the summer season our bodies will sweat a lot, right? So that sweating is actually required for the cooling effect. How is the cooling effect brought about? Whenever the sweating happens through the cotton cloth, pores which are there in the cotton cloth, the sweat from the body will try evaporating. During the evaporation process, the heat which is required will be again taken up from our body, and once our body gives away the heat, our body temperature drops down and we start feeling cooler. This is the whole idea behind wearing the cotton cloths during the summer. Then, one more concept that we can cover over here is where the evaporation or the condensation happens. I hope you all remember what is condensation. I'll tell you. See, the process where solid becomes liquid is called melting. In another word, fusion. Then, the process where liquid becomes a gas, it is called as vaporization. The process where gas becomes the liquid is called as condensation. Now the process where the liquid becomes solid is called as freezing. I hope you all are aware of this. So, once you keep the water bottle inside the refrigerator, it will be really cool. The water inside the bottle will be really cool. You take that bottle out and keep it at the atmospheric temperature. At the room temperature, at atmospheric pressure. What will happen? After a few minutes, you get to see that there will be water droplets on the bottle. It's actually amazing, right? Being kids, we always go and try finding out what is the reason, and we always feel like the water bottle might be leaking. No. What basically happens is, see children, the air is a mixture of gases along with the water vapor. So the water vapor which is there in the air, when it comes in contact with the bottle which is cool, the outer covering of the bottle which is really cool, this water vapor gets condensed. The condensed water vapor gets converted from the gas to the liquid. That's called as condensation. So this condensation will give you those droplets on the water bottle. This is all about the cooling effect that is caused by the evaporation and the condensation, which leads to the formation of droplets. Now, there are certain factors on which this evaporation depends. Now we know that evaporation is really important because this evaporation brings about lot many things. For example, it makes the cloth become dry. It makes the floor dry up soon. When we become wet, we have to dry up ourselves also. Our hair has to get dry after we take bath. All these processes happen with the help of evaporation. But this evaporation, sometimes it becomes really high, that the things will dry up very soon. But sometimes dry up happens very late. The evaporation takes place very late. So why is this late or early evaporation happening? Let us try to explore that. So we are going to discuss about the factors on which the evaporation depends. The first concept, the first factor on which the evaporation depends is temperature. So whenever the temperature is increased, you see that even evaporation increases. Whenever the temperature increases, evaporation increases because temperature, when it increases, the heat energy increases. In presence of more heat energy, the liquid molecules can easily get converted to the vapor, and that's how the temperature increases the rate of evaporation. That is the reason why during the summer season, cloth material, they get dried up very soon because the sun gives the heat energy. That heat energy will be falling onto the cloth. The water which has to get evaporated, and in the presence of more heat energy, it gets evaporated very faster, and that's how the cloth will get really dried up. But during the winter season or the rainy season, the temperature will be really low. This low temperature will not support higher evaporation rate, and that's the reason why it takes a little while for the cloths to get dried up. That's the first factor, that is temperature. Second one is surface area. You might have seen, once the water spills on the floor, the water stands there for a while, right? And if the water is standing there for a while, it takes a lot of time for that water to get evaporated. So what do we simply do? We take the cloth material. After wiping it, we make sure that we are spreading. If it is water, we spread it for a while. For a little more surface area. Now, whenever you spread this water to a little more surface area, the surface area increases. Surface area is nothing but the area on which the evaporation is taking place. So once the surface area increases, we get to see that the water evaporates quickly. So whenever the surface area increases, the evaporation also increases. This is the reason why we provide the saucers with the cup. We provide saucers so that some people who want to drink the tea at moderate temperature, not too high, not too hot, not too cold, they will put it into the saucer. The saucer's surface area is more when compared to the cup. The tea, when it spreads on the surface area, evaporation takes place quickly. During evaporation, the temperature will be taken from the tea and tea becomes cold. So, when the surface area increases, evaporation also increases. Third reason is wind speed. Now, think this is the container in which the evaporation is happening. The moment these vapors move from here, there is a possibility of the vapors to come out, correct? Whenever the wind speed is high, it will make these molecules move faster from here, the vapor molecules move faster from here, giving the space for the thing to happen, the evaporation to happen again. When more and more evaporation is happening, obviously cooling effect will be brought about. That means whenever there is increase in the wind speed, the evaporation also increases. That is the reason why whenever we drink the tea, if it is too hot, we basically blow. Blowing of the air into the tea, what will happen? It will increase the wind speed, and wind speed will bring about more evaporation to make the tea become cooler sooner. This is the third factor on which the evaporation depends. Next one is humidity. Now, Humidity is nothing but the amount of moisture present in the atmosphere. This is the moisture present in the atmosphere. Now, from this container, whenever evaporation happens, this moisture which is there in the atmosphere, it will become the barrier. It's like the temperature will be first absorbed by the moisture, then it gets evaporated, then it empties the space, and then the vapors have to come and get collected over there. That means it takes a lot of time for the evaporation to take place. This is the only factor which retards the growth of the evaporation. You increase the humidity, the evaporation rate decreases. That is the reason why during winter season, whenever humidity is more and the temperature is very low, you get to see that the cloths will also take a lot of time to dry up. During winter season, even the marble floors which are wiped or mopped will take a lot of time to get dry because the evaporation rate decreases whenever the humidity increases. Humidity is nothing but the amount of moisture there in the atmosphere. So these are the factors on which evaporation depends. Now we are done with the complete chapter called Matter in Our Surroundings, and in this today's video we discovered about evaporation, what are the effects of evaporation, how is it helping us in our daily life, as well as the factors on which the evaporation depends. Dear students, any concept learned in science becomes waste if it is not applied in the daily life. Make sure you take the concepts from here, enjoy your life, because the life becomes easy with the super concepts of science. With this, I would like to finish this video. See you in the next video. Stay healthy and stay safe. Bye bye.